we are now, of course, after a pretty decent sprint, where we made up the most positions in, of course, any sprint race which we have done 10. We are now going to go to the Brazilian Grand Prix proper. Of course, as you do know, we are going to go over here for this brilliant lap around 21 of this record-breaking 2024 season, and we will show you how we are back on pole position. Oh yeah, wow, it's amazing, isn't it? So I'm so happy to get in my 17th pole position of the season. Obviously, in the sprints, as I've gotten 3 more. So in fact, this is indeed my 20th pole position, if we counted obviously, with the sprint as well. So yeah, over here we can be, really happy about it. We will show you on this Scuderia Red Retina iMac exactly, how we achieved this, really great feat. That I'm, definitely absolutely very pleased about, because again, it is absolutely crucial over here, to be on the pole position. Obviously, 5 Grand Prix now in a row, and it's a fitting, obviously, to as now the 4-time Scuderia Ferrari champion to be here on the pole position, and obviously this very legendary Interlagos circuit, obviously, that bears the name of champions like Ayrton Senna. So over here, as from the sprint. We did know we had lots of the sets of the soft tires, because we didn't use them, in the sprint as well. But basically, you only have, the 3 sets. So basically, I knew it was, go out, set the banker lap in, then recharge the batteries, right, and don't go on the same set of tires, because the last thing you want to do is to be burning through the tires, especially in qualifying 1 or qualifying 2. And in qualifying 1, I have to say it went pretty well, right? I was able to set a time of 1:18.0, which was good enough to top the qualifying 1 session. And obviously then I went for another lap, which usually obviously once you have that lap on board, I would expect to go a little bit quicker, and I did, until obviously I ran wide pretty much at the Junsao corner, which is basically then leading up to the main straight. So it's where Lewis Hamilton, of course, has overtaken Timo Glock of Toyota for the 2008 championship. So I ran a little bit wide, so I lost plenty of time, so couldn't have improved on that. I still tried to go, but obviously didn't have much of a battery, so that really costs you, even though the track is relatively short. You always do need to recharge the battery, because again, it's easy to get 60-70% of the battery, right? Even though we are still using that Ford energy store, so it has a bit more of a capacity, but it was still a bit of an issue here. But I qualified then to from obviously the first position, qualifying 1. We went to qualifying 2, did a pretty good job, with the banker lap, but it was a bit slower, so 1:8.5, I believe, and then I exploded for 1:7.7. So I knew, that this is going well, because remember, in the sprint qualifying 1, my fastest time was actually 1:7.6. So I was a little bit surprised that, despite the fact that obviously the conditions for the qualifying are very similar, right? You just run it either on Friday or on Saturday, just like the real Formula 1 drivers. So I'm sure you guys will enjoy it when it's published obviously on our YouTube channel. And I thought, okay, how come on the medium, the yellow mark tire, I was just so fast, right? Already in sprint qualifying 1, and here qualifying 1, qualifying 2, I wasn't able to beat the time. And surprisingly, when we have gotten to the qualifying 3, so I did the time of 1:7.8, right? And that was still not I wasn't able to beat that brilliant time from the sprint qualifying 1. And then finally I was obviously able to explode for some really good time. But again, I could have gained a little bit more, as you guys will see over here. So it's again a bit of a surprise that we were obviously able to actually go quicker on that medium set of tires. So just that leaves you wondering what might have been. But yeah, we are on pole position. That's very important, because obviously unlike, for example, with the races, right? You do know that I was unable to win in Mexico, which means I cannot have 20 Grand Prix victories. But yeah, ever since obviously I became a champion, when it happened in 2017, right? I won the Abu Dhabi, so I had a 100% record. But here, Mexico, I finished second. In sprint, I finished fifth. So I will definitely be hoping to get my second Grand Prix victory as the reigning, the same season, world champion. To keep the really good record going. So now you will get the chance to climb into the cockpit of this beautiful Ferrari SF1000 T818 Formula 1 Racing Simulator. With about 4 minutes and 20 seconds to go. I'm now settling in on my fastest lap time that gets me that Brazilian Grand Prix pole position. You obviously do know that we've done really well here. In terms of pole positions, obviously for the Grand Prix proper, right? This is now my 4th pole position. And for the sprint, we had 1 pole, so 5 poles, which again is unrivaled, pretty much, anywhere but I believe Suzuka. So over here, let me turn around this Scuderia Red Regina IMEC, and let's go for this super qualifying lap. And yeah, I'm the Felix champion, the 4th-time Scuderia Ferrari Formula 1 World Champion. Okay, so over here, this is how it looks like. So obviously we love the qualifying sessions over here. So let's take a look at it. Okay. And let me take it here. Okay, so you can see beautiful setup. Okay, everybody, let me take you here. So yeah, it looks absolutely magnificent, doesn't it? Especially as we are the world champions now. Wow, look at it. And, here is, of course, one of the reasons why we are world champions, because we are so good in qualifying, right? At the beginning of the season, we were always faster in races. Still, we are getting the fastest laps, but for the Brazilian sprint, we didn't get the fastest laps, surprisingly. But of course, with the pole positions, we are on an amazing run. If you go back, basically, to Canada, so basically from that round onwards, you would pretty much, have, amazing 12 sessions, 11 times we put it on pole positions with sprints, quite incredibly. We would have, 15 sessions and 13 times we would put it on pole position. So, we executed like champions. Over here, you can see that, I'm just heading down the main straight. So, everybody, let's plant it on pole position like we should have yesterday for the sprint. Let's go, yes, Felix, champion! So, the lap just starts over here. Very early starting, look at this. Okay, Senna's S's. I'm already 10th up. Did a good job with braking. Let's go, Jan. Obviously, I do not have that much of a battery because the lap is shorter, so it's not that easy. But we are purple, come on, Jan. Good turning 3/10 up. Using the limits of the track. Very well done. 7th gear, 6th gear, look at it. Yes, just within the limits, this is champion driving. Let's go, Felix, champion. 3/10 up, you can see. Here bit, we were almost half a second up. This would have been a really super lap time, but here we are purple again. And yes, 4th gear, that's a good exit over here, but you can see we lost a couple of tenths here and there and everywhere, but this is still a great lap. Let's go, Felix, champion! Yes, fastest lap, 1:07.682. So yeah, great. This will be a pole position, of course, over here, as we can see. So the fantastic result. I'm really pleased, with my performance over here. And of course, we did leave, I believe, 2-3 tenths definitely on a table in a couple of corners, right? I cannot believe that I could have gone into low 1 minute 7 seconds, man. Like, can you imagine going around Interlagos in less than 67 seconds? Neither can I. So over here, let's take a look. This handsome boy, Jan Luksha, will now start properly here on pole position. So I think that will help us a lot, obviously, in the race, because we struggled a bit in the traffic, as we will go for our 16th record-breaking victory of the season. Second, Max Verstappen, Red Bull. We are obviously chasing his record, trying to equal his 19 wins for a season. So wish me good luck with that. Third, Charles Leclerc for Scuderia Ferrari did a good job, just 3 tenths off. So it was a tight qualifying. the 2 McLaren boys, 4 Lando Norris, 5th Oscar Piastri, 6 is then Fernando Alonso for Aston Martin, 7 Sergio Perez Red Bull, 8 our future Ferrari teammate Lewis Hamilton there, and George Russell, 9 for Mercedes MG Petronas, 2nd down, 10 Lance Stroll for Aston Martin. So the same 5 teams again dominated the qualifying. And we can expect obviously more, in a race. So over here, yeah, this is absolutely fantastic. So yeah, I'm so happy because obviously, I was really disappointed, when I had when me and Alonso obviously, crashed, or Alonso basically, I don't know what he was doing at the end of the pit lane there, but yeah, that was hugely disappointing, for many reasons. But thankfully, obviously, I can, compete here in the race. The issue is that, we didn't win the sprint, so it won't be as perfect as in Austria, for example. But here we have a fantastic opportunity to go and to get a victory. Obviously we are very strong, pretty much ever since 2010. During our first race here, it was a bit botched. We struggled a bit in the race, but then 2016, 2017, and last year, obviously in the 2023 season, we scored a brilliant victory. So we will be going now for the lucky 3, but for the lucky 4 victory. But now, let's get what we deserve, which is the shiny golden medal! Oh yeah! You are the pole sitter here in Brazil! Wow! Let's go! Let's go, yeah, Solix are champion! You made it! Finally, we've gotten it, we are back, obviously. It's hard to say, now with the sprints, right? Because obviously the record for most consecutive pole positions is 8. Now I have 5 on the trot, but again, in the sprint qualifying, I haven't managed to obviously qualify first. So kind of hard to say, right? Should that count or not? But for the Grand Prix proper, we have a great chance to equal Ayrton Senna over here. If we just keep going, again, one of the great heroes, our hero, of course, Michael Schumacher, will be very pleased. He's gotten a few pole positions here, even though I have to say for Ferrari, probably you remember Felipe Massa chasing this championship over here. That was quite amazing, what he has done from 2006 to 2008 over here. This one will be the race that I believe Michael Schumacher put in the most amazing performance of his career when he was obviously 37 years old, had a bit of a soul puncture with the coming with Fisichella in 2006, exact 18 years ago. So it will be quite amazing, to see how well I can do over here. If I can dominate the field just like he did when he was lapping almost a second faster than anybody else over here, which is definitely possible. It's a great, well-designed track, really challenging. And obviously I've just shown to you, how to master it. The only driver to go in, of course, F1 24 or even in a real Formula 1 2024, the only driver to go below 68 seconds, which is the Solix champion. Fantastic. So I hope you guys enjoyed over here. Our 17th pole position of the season, couldn't have been sweeter. And we will see what happens obviously in a race. I cannot wait, to dominate it and to get back to the winning ways, ever since Singapore, right? We haven't won for 3 racing sessions and 2 Grand Prix. Hey, definitely let's go for it and win over here, right? Let's go!